onto this diagram, we can clearly see that price has taken out the inducement, leaving a swing point and reversing back, breaking past the swing point. And we know once such a pattern is formed, then this one here is a confirmed valid break of structure to the downside. So now that we know our break of structure, we can clearly identify the trading range, of course, from that external liquidity all the way to this low currently. All right, so after the trading range, the next step is usually identifying the inducement. And in this case, I don't see any valid pullback after the break of structure. So this means then the recently formed valid pullback, it occurred before the break of structure, and that's now our minor inducement. Minor because it occurred before the break of structure. All right, so now let's mark our order flows. So on to the next step, of course, marking the order flows. You can clearly see that this is the extreme and it's not mitigated. The next order flow is this one here, also not mitigated. Another one, so we'll be shifting until we reach the low, and exactly this is the last right here. So this one here is our extreme order flow because it is unmitigated and it is the one on the origin of the dealing range, and that's a valid one. This one here is an SMT, so I'll mark it another color. This one here is also an SMT because we said the decisional is the one that causes the break of structure. So this one here is the one that caused the break of structure. We can clearly see a break of this internal high and consequently the break of this external high. So this one here is the one that qualifies to be the decisional order flow. But in this case, since the inducement is above it, exactly right here, or since it occurred before the inducement, then in this case, it will still now not be a valid order flow. In this case, it will be marked as an SMT, and any reaction from here, it will not be used as a valid reaction. So take note of that. Not unless now price does something like this, that is, it creates another valid pullback down below here. Now in this case, now the decision order flow, any reaction from the decision order flow can be used to take the reversal. So take note of that. But since the case now it's like this, then this means that this one here is also a smart money trap and it cannot be used for the reversal. And the only way you can, and the only POI you will be using as the reversal is this one here, the extreme order flow. All right, so now let's extend this and make it like this. So now let me make something like that. Yep, let me increase something like that so that I can make the order flows like so many. All right, so it's now something like this. So this one here, what about this order flow? And also, what about this order flow? All right, so which one here is now the decisional? The decisional stays intact and does not change. It will still be this one here. It will not change. Even if price creates multiple order flows here, this is the decisional and it will not change. However, the inducement is changing. So this means that this one here is now the inducement. Yep, so that's the inducement. And of course, the engineering liquidity, we all know that it is the last pullback before the extreme. So that's the engineering liquidity. But this here is the decisional and this one here is the extreme. That doesn't change. All of these are just smart money traps or weak POIs. All of these that are in this color, all of these are just smart money traps or weak POIs, and any reaction from these ones will not be used to take the reversal. These are the valid order flows. All right, so inside these order flows, of course, there is order blocks. So sometimes price may fail the order flow and decide to mitigate now the order block. In this case, then the order block is still valid. So right here, you can clearly see that. On the previous playlist, I say that if price mitigates the order flow and gives a reaction, then fails it, then the decision order block will completely ignore that and take the reversal from the extreme order flow or the extreme order block. But in this case, this decisional order block, even if the decisional order flow fails the decisional order block, a reaction from that, a confirmed reversal reaction from that, it's valid. All right, so now let me change the scenario to something like this, that price has mitigated this extreme. So now this means that this one here is a mitigated order flow, and now our extreme order flow is this one here. Of course, there is an order block here that is unmitigated. So exactly right here, there is an order block that is unmitigated. And also here there is an order block that is unmitigated. So now which one here is the extreme order flow? I mean, which one here is the extreme order block? Of course, the extreme order block is the one that is found on the extreme order flow. This one here, it will be called the origin order block because it is the order block on the origin of this dealing range. And this origin order block is only valid after the extreme order block has failed. All right, so now let me get something clear here. If let's say now price mitigates this one, so this means that also this order flow is mitigated. So let me do something like this. That's mitigated, and this here is the extreme one. So this now becomes the extreme order flow. But remember, the decision order flow does not change. It remains where it is. This one here, it will not change. Even if like how many order flows there are present on the trading range, this decision order flow does not change. The decision order flow, the decision order block stays intact. All right, so in this case, and of course, let's say there is a valid order block exactly right here. So which now is the extreme order block? Of course, the extreme order block is this one here. Yep, so this one here is the extreme order block, and this one here is now an SMT, and it cannot be used as a valid POI, but the origin order block, it's still valid. This means now if this one here, the extreme order block fails, which is this one here, then this origin order block will now be the next zone for we to take the reversal from. But this one here will just be used as a weak POI. This one here is the extreme, and this one here is the decisional. You can see that the decisional does not change, and the order block, of course, does not change. And by the way, the engineering liquidity changes with the extreme order flow. So since the extreme order flow is here, this means that this one here is our engineering liquidity. But our inducement does not change, not unless price creates another low to the downside. Then that one will now change to the previous one that was created. And yeah, so the decisional does not change. It stays where it is. And of course, the extreme order flow, it's just the one that is not mitigated. You can clearly see that this one here is mitigated, this one here is mitigated. So this means that this one here is the one staying intact as not mitigated. Yeah, so guys, let me not make the video long. I will end it here, and on the next part I will be solidifying or reinforcing this with real chart examples so that you guys can actually get a full understanding of what I'm actually saying. And so I know you learned something, so do me a favor, drop a like, and see you in the next part.